Hello, I'm Noah Dunn of AHS-TV, and in this episode of Best of the Nest, we will take a closer look at the cell phone policy at AHS. Before we get into it, our own Chanel Bronson spoke with students and teachers here at AHS to get their view on the matter. Let's take a closer look.
Hello, I'm Chanel Bronson of AHS-TV, and today we're taking a closer look at our cell phone policy at AHS. We sat down with Mr. Cloak today.
Do you find like cell phones used in your classroom offensive while you're teaching?
Yes. Right. There used to be a time in history when human beings would actually look at each other when they were speaking. There was an ability to communicate, and it was well accepted that when someone was talking to you, you were looking at them. I find regularly in classes that students will, try and sneak the phone, right? It's obvious, nobody just stares under their desk, right? But most offensive, I think, is when the student will just blatantly ignore what you're saying and focus on the phone. And I think that's happening more than it used to, not just in class, but just generally speaking. If you're talking to someone, if their phone dings, then you become far less important than the person on the other end of the phone.
What's your personal policy on like the cell phones in the class?
I don't mind if a student has their phone on their person, but I don't want to see them. If at the end of the lecture or the lesson or whatever it is that we're doing, if there's a couple minutes remaining, I don't have a problem with the student looking at it, or even if they used the example earlier, if they don't have anything to do. If they're working on an independent project, I don't mind if the phone is out. I do know a lot of students have the what are they called?
Earpods?
Earpods. So that's connected to the phone. I like music, right? So if you want your own personal music while you're working, I don't have a problem with that. But if it's social media and focusing on that rather than the task at hand, then yeah, there's an issue.
Are there certain benefits to having phones in school, like for classes?
There are opportunities where cell phones can be used to, if a student doesn't have their Chromebook, or if you want to look something up real quick, it is convenient, but I don't think it's ever necessary.
How often do you use your phone in school?
How often do I use my phone in school? Often enough. If I want to check something or send a message or an email or something like that, I can look at it real quick. But again, my number one reason for being here is not to be looking at the tic-tac, but rather teaching children. And the children, your reason to be here is to be learning and not text messaging or anything like that. Thanks.
Have you ever had somebody like get a phone call during your class?
I have. In fact, today I had 2 students get phone calls during class. One student made a call and the other student received a call, and both of those students handled the situation properly. The one student who had to make a call was a legitimate situation, had to call their parent, and stepped in the hallway and made the call. I have no problem with that. And another student who received a call they felt was a response from a job interview they'd had, also asked to step out and return the call. And in both situations, it was near the end of class, and we had finished the planned activities for the day.
If you had like 3 main negatives to give about cell phone use, what would those be?
3 main in school or generally?
In school.
Okay. It's a distraction. I think students become distracted because they're always thinking about the phone. So if there's a minute or 2 that passes that they're not touching it, they have to get it and use it. So distraction. The second one would be easy access to say terrible things to each other. Right? I think in our society today, people fail to recognize that the hurtful things they're saying to people electronically are still seen by humans, right? And where people would hesitate to say those things to someone's face, they don't hesitate to do so over electronic media. And the third, I think, would just be simply the lack of ability and desire to have face-to-face conversations.
As you were saying with like the bullying going on, do you feel like most of the problems that the principals take on come from online phones?
I don't know if the majority of what they take on comes from that. I'm sure it's a large part of it. I think today young people are using the phones for all types of communication. So, they don't hesitate to pick up and do something negative or to do something positive. I think it's just the way the communication occurs. No, I don't have the information or the knowledge to say if it's the majority of it or if it's more than it used to be. I just think it's the way the communication happens, and so you're going to see it through that media.
And if we didn't have cell phones in school, do you think it'd be more effective, or would you see more problems coming from the student and the parents with not having their cell phones at school?
Oh, I think it would be wonderful if students didn't have access to the phones during school. I say that as a parent as well. My daughter's graduated, but when she was a student, she'd message me during the day about things that have nothing to do with, I regularly ask, what are you supposed to be doing right now? Because I'm sure it isn't telling me what you want for Christmas. So yeah, I think if it's removed and everyone knows that it's removed and it's not something that you have access to, then your focus becomes what you're actually here for. Do you have a job? Do you work?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Are you allowed to have your phone at work?
No.
There's a reason for that, right? Because whenever you're at work, you're to be doing the work things.
Yeah.
When you're at school, you're to be doing the
School things.
Very good. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Cloak.
It's my pleasure. Thanks, Chanel.
All right, I'm here to ask you some questions about the cell phone policy. On a day-to-day basis, how much do you use your phone?
I feel like I use my phone a lot just because I have mostly study hall classes.
I also use my phone a lot because some of my classes, like consumer math, we don't have a calculator and we need a calculator in consumer math, so I'd be on my phone. I also have study halls, so yes.
Do you feel like you need the access? Do you feel like you need it all the time, or are you fine without it?
I feel like there's times where you can go without it, but there's also times where you should have access to it, just for safety reasons or for a calculator, things like that.
No, yeah, I feel like it's also a convenience thing. I'm not always pulling out my Chromebook to type up a question. If I need to use Google, realistically, I'm pulling out my phone and I'm typing in Google. But also for safety, I'd probably prefer to have my phone all day, because if there was to be an emergency, I'd rather have my phone so I could call my mom, let her know it's happening. Just the usual.
How do you feel about the government trying to make up a law with phones not being used in schools?
I do not support that. I hope that if it happens after I'm graduated.
How much do you use your phone?
I'm rarely on my phone. I try and focus on my education while I'm here.
Okay. How do you feel about the phone charts, and if they're asking you to put away your phone?
I think they're effective at keeping kids from cheating on tests.
Do you feel like you need to be access to your phone all the time? How do you feel about the phone charts and?
I think I should have my phone for emergencies, because you never know when something's going to happen. So.
All right. And how do you feel about the government trying to make a law about illegalizing phones?
I don't like it.
Well, there you have it, folks. Straight from the Hawk's Beak. Back to you at the studio.
Thanks, Chanel. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be back with more of AHS-TV Best of the Nest.
Just as no two oak leaves are the same, your journey at IUP is uniquely yours. Yours to explore your interests, pursue your passions, discover your calling. You will face challenges. Success comes with challenges, but you'll never have to go it alone. Whatever you need, from academics to wellness support, we'll be here for you throughout your journey. Get in the Grove at IUP.
And we're back with AHS-TV, Best of the Nest. I'm Noah Dunn, and today we are talking to Max Zablocki and Theron Kupek to get a hawk's eye view on our school cell phone policy. Welcome to Best of the Nest. Could you introduce yourself for our viewers?
I'm Theron Kupek.
I'm Max Zablocki.
When we talked to Mr. Cloak, he said there's an inappropriate place for phones in the class. Do you feel that students have good judgment of when it is inappropriate to have their phones out?
I think for the most part, no. Some kids are good with it, but most kids, try to sneak their phone in, and when it's time for learning, you got to learn.
Yeah, I feel like Kids definitely, they don't know when to be on their phones and when to be off of it. Most of the time, teachers are up there talking, trying to teach us, and we're on our phones.
And do you think some teachers are more biased when it comes to certain students being on their phones, and why?
I don't really think so. I think some teachers, all teachers are fair when it comes to all students being on their phones. They just don't want to.
Yeah, I'd say they're mostly fair for the most part. Sometimes if you've had like track records with that teacher before on your phones and stuff like that, they'll definitely keep an eye on you closer, but I'd say they're mostly fair.
Do you as a student think it is an act of disrespect to be on your phone while you're in class?
Yeah, to the teacher especially. The teacher is trying to teach, has been working at it their whole life, and we're just on our phones.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely disrespectful to be on your phone while the teacher's trying to teach, and they put their whole lesson the whole week, and you're just sitting there on your phone, not looking, listening.
When a teacher originally enforces a strict cell phone policy, do you think they strict to it all year? If not, why?
Not really. I think they ease up, once they get to know their students. At first, they're using the pocket chart and all that, and they're real strict, and then they sort of ease up.
Definitely. I mean, the teachers, the first week or two, it'll be like, you got to put your phone in the pocket chart, get off your phones, don't be on your phones, and then later on, they just don't really care. If you're respectful to them, they'll let you have your phones in your pockets and stuff like that. You don't have to put it up in the pocket chart at all.
Do you feel that when keeping eye contact with a teacher helps you learn better, or do you learn better off a screen?
I like visual learning, so I like talking to a teacher. I'm not into screen and AI type of stuff, you know what I mean? So I like when the teacher, it's one-on-one, I'm talking to the teacher, I'm asking questions, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I feel like learning face-to-face is way better than learning from a screen, and I feel like you just can't learn from a screen as well.
Do you guys think it'd be better learning hands-on with just material?
For sure. I think hands-on would be way better than just a regular packet. I'd rather have these on.
Do you think that there is harm using your phone in class? Does it affect your learning abilities or ability to obtain the knowledge?
Yeah, it's just a distraction to you and everybody around you. So, when it's time to learn, you gotta lock in and do all your work. And, after, most teachers give some time to be on your phone and all that.
I feel like it could be a tool, and it also can be a distraction. Like some kids, they'll use their phone as a tool, and if they have Chromebooks dead or something like that, and they want to get their work done, they'll use their phone. But if not, it can be a distraction sometimes. Sometimes it can't. But yeah, I think it. I'm in between on that one.
What do you think the safety benefits on having your phone on you at school?
My parents always call me. My parents are always texting me. I'm texting friends. So I think it's important to have your phone on you at school. Just not you're not on it during class. There's a time to be on it and a time not to be on it. And,
I feel like there's no safety benefit of having my phone on me during school. I mean, the teachers, they all have Skyward, and they can look up your emergency contacts and stuff like that. And teachers have phones, they can have their phones, they'll have the school phones, they can contact whoever, and if something were to happen, they can call 911 off their actual cell phones or their phones in the school. I feel like there's no safety benefit at all.
What do you think are some downsides of having your phone in school?
Obviously the distraction during class, and it could get broken. Some kids are careless. That's about it.
I feel like, yeah, just distractions basically. I mean, I don't see a horrible downside of having the phone in the school other than a distraction, but if you can maintain not taking your phone out while the teacher's teaching, I think you're fine, and it's not really a distraction at all.
Do you agree with Anderson about his statement saying that the phone charts help prevent cheating on tests?
Yeah, phone charts, almost all the teachers make us put their phones in the chart for tests. It prevents cheating, and it does a good job with that.
I don't think the phone charts help at all, really. I mean, most of the kids, they're not even using their phone to cheat. They're just looking off of each other's papers. I know that. And I feel like the phone charts don't help at all. They're just there, and half the teachers don't use them either. I think it's kind of pointless.
Overall, would you agree that a cell phone ban within schools is absolutely necessary for students' education?
No, I disagree entirely. I need my phone during school.
I don't think it should be banned. I mean, I don't see a need for it. Do I think kids would probably learn more without them? Yes, but I don't think there's a total need for banning the phones in school.
Thank you, Theron and Max, for joining us today and offering your insight. Until next time, I'm Noah Dunn of AHS-TV, and keep on soaring.
This is your time to engage, create, follow your passion, show your spirit, go all out, or just kick back. Here in the Oak Grove at the heart of IUP, endless opportunities await. Where do you fit in? Wherever you want. This is your time. This is your place. Get in the Grove at IUP.
Hello, I'm Brody Schaefer of AHS-TV, and in this segment of Best of the Nest, we will take a look at the school temperature and how it affects students' learning and their focus. We will also be talking to Miss Plant, a math and lunch monitor here at AHS. But first, Micah Southworth and I hit the halls of AHS to take a closer look.
Hello, this is Micah Southworth here at AHS-TV, and today I'm here with
Mr. Morris.
Antonio Shavira.
Trent.
Rick Schwartz.
Reba Southworth.
Donovan Hutchins.
Jordan Stevens. Daniel Phillips.
Mr. Morris. Which spot in the school do you think is the warmest or the coldest?
The coldest spot would be the weight room.
The warmest is definitely Mr. Swanson's room right now. It is like insanely hot in there for literally no reason. And the coldest is probably the other side of his room, which is always insanely cold, I feel like. So it's just Mr. Swanson's room.
The coldest would probably be the gym.
Definitely the lunchroom is the coldest, which I don't know why, but I don't know. Like the hottest room, like the classrooms, I don't know.
The lunchroom.
Coldest? Mrs. Bowser. She got the windows open sometimes. It's mint in there. The warmest, low-key, is Miss McCullough. It's like really hot.
Coldest would be in the gym because it's big. Hottest would be cafeteria because there's a lot of people.
Warmest has to be the basketball gym. I think gym A. And coldest, I don't know. I have no idea.
Do you think the school's temperature affects the overall mood or energy of the students throughout the day?
It does. The cooler, the better.
Yeah, if it's like too hot in a classroom, I'm not really trying to do anything.
Yeah.
Why?
Because if it's hot, then I just want to sleep.
No.
Yes.
Why?
Because if you're cold, then you don't want to do any work.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I feel like if it's like freezing cold or like really hot, no one's gonna want to do anything because I don't want to sit here and sweat like I am right now. So I guess it affects my mood. So.
No. Not really.
Have you ever changed where you sit in a classroom or the lunchroom because of how hot or cold it was?
I don't really think we're allowed to change seats in a lot of classes, so I don't really think I've done that. But in Swanson's room, I never in like the main part of his room because it's always like way too hot.
In a class, it was cold in the classroom, so I switched to the other side because I was sitting by the AC.
No.
No.
No. Nope.
I've never sat in the lunchroom during lunch or I have been in a classroom, but now I haven't changed a seat or anything like that. I just toughen up about it, you know what I mean? Just get a little tougher.
Yep.
All right.
And there you have it.
Thanks, Micah. For those of you just joining us, I'm Brody Schaefer of AHS-TV, and I am now joined by Miss Plant, a math teacher here at AHS. Welcome to Best of the Nest.
Thank you.
So, as a teacher, how much control do you personally have over the temperature in your classroom?
Absolutely zero. I have tried every button on there, and nothing works, and it never changes.
Well, that's interesting. So the up and down buttons are just for show?
Yep.
Okay. In your experience, how does the temperature affect students' behavior or focus during the school day?
I feel like if they walk into a classroom and they're immediately like, oh, it's so hot in here, oh, it's so cold in here, it like sets their mood for the rest of the class, and they're like, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, I agree. If it's too hot, I just kind of want to
Yeah,
zone out.
I agree.
Are there certain seasons when keeping the school at a comfortable temperature is difficult?
Well, there are really no seasons here in PA. So for timing-wise, yes, because December we were Christmas break, so kids are like, oh, I want to, it's almost Christmas. I'm over it. Same with like near the end of the school year. So like, yes, it's generally warmer, but again, like last week, it could be 4, it could be 60. You never know. But definitely like season, like timing-wise, for sure.
I agree. Do you think the classroom temperature can affect how well students learn or stay engaged?
Yeah, just how humans work in general. If they're super hot, they're probably getting like drowsy and like tired. Versus if they're cold, they're very like, they don't want to do anything anyway. But
how do extreme temperatures like very hot or very cold days change your daily work routine?
not day to day, I would say, but definitely like winter, I have to get up earlier to make sure the car is heated up and stuff like that. But during the work while I'm here, just because it's all inside, it doesn't really affect it too much.
Yeah, I would say this morning, I mean, it was freezing out.
Yes.
I got in, my steering wheel was really cold. I almost
The doors stick a little bit
yeah,
extra, yep.
I almost didn't start driving this morning. I
Yep.
almost went back to bed.
Well, we wouldn't be here.
I know. Do you think students take the learning environment more seriously when the temperature is comfortable?
I would say so, yeah, because they don't have to worry about any outside factors. They can lock in, as the children would say, on their
Yeah.
schoolwork and things like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know in math last year I was freezing, and I
Yeah.
can't remember. I think it was Mrs. Carr's room.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
really cold, and like the whole entire year it would go back and forth, and she said she didn't have any control over it.
No, I remember it being like almost 80 in that room
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah,
That
it'd
was
get really
horrible.
hot. Have you seen students become more tired or distracted because the building was too warm?
I would say a little bit, yeah. Definitely complaining about it, and it's on their mind more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember 2 years ago, kids started bringing in blankets. and
Yes,
They were
yes.
trying to sleep in class.
Yeah.
What improvements do you think could be made to help keep the school at a better temperature?
That would be an HVAC thing. I would say if we actually had control over our rooms, like nobody's room would be too warm, I don't think. But it might not be a bad thing because some teachers, like myself, are always really cold, so I might keep it a little bit higher versus teachers being really warm all the time might keep it cooler. So I don't know. I think it's like 50-50.
Yeah, I see that everybody has their own system in their room.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they just can't go over and hit the buttons, but they must lock it up on you guys.
I don't know.
Overall, do you think temperature plays a bigger role in the school environment than most people realize?
Yeah, absolutely. We're all human. We all, regulate our body temperatures and stuff like that, and that definitely affects anything we do, whether it's school, work, So it probably does, but it kind of flies under the radar because it might only be 1 or 2 classes a day, and it's not usually a school-wide thing. But.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Ms. Plant, for joining us today to get the hawk's eyes view on the temperature here at AHS. Until next time, I'm Brody Schaefer of AHS-TV. Keep on soaring.